Welcome back to another episode of Does It Pencil Out? All right, friends, welcome to the show. An honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. We're going to have a fun one today. We're going to play Does It Pencil Out? This is the biggest thing you have to know, although nobody looks at this one very simple thing that we all should be looking at right now if we're considering buying property. Unfortunately, many people are out there flying blind, my friends. They just got a pre-approval. They've been told what they qualify for by a loan officer that's desperate. Desperate. Gosh, you cannot trust many people out there. If you're new, welcome. You're going to get real talk from a agent that has financial gain in these markets, helping people all over America make wise decisions. Even if it costs me a sale, putting other people's needs before your own. If you're in sales, you have to do that, especially right now, as buyer sentiment is now at its lowest levels ever recorded in history, and loan applications are tanking. It's a standoff. It is a standoff right now between greedy sellers. I shouldn't call them greedy. We'll call them sellers backed up against the wall against buyers that the buyer pool is so small. It's a complete standoff. So today what I really wanted to do to drive our point home is play an episode of Does It Pencil Out? If you're looking at properties in your neighborhood, this is the only thing I believe that you need to look at to see if maybe it makes sense to buy. What's that house's payment going to be versus what its rent range is? Those are the things, even if it's not a rental. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around this because they're looking at the house. They're not looking at it as a rental. They're looking at it.
This is my house, and I want to live here, and I want to buy a house. And honey, we need to buy. Buy.
No, that is not what we're going to do here. That is not what I'm going to build investors out of you. That is my only goal. Why? Because you're not going to get rich being tied to one house. And guess what? When you get into that loan, it's all interest payments, very little principal for the front end of the loan. And they know that. They know because statistically you sell within 7 years. The first 7 years of a 30-year fixed mortgage, primarily interest, very little principal getting paid, and then you just refinance it to another home and start the clock all over. You never pay principal down. You're relying on appreciation in the house to maybe earn you some money. But in this day and age, you just can't anymore. But there is safety right now. If you're looking at buying a house, there is safety. We're going to talk about that safety after we get back from this property. We're going to talk about only a couple things you need to look at. I know one, Does It Pencil Out is clearly one, but there's a couple more I want to talk about where if you're interested in buying right now, you can do it. There's plenty of areas in America, but there's plenty of areas that just aren't there yet. And those are the areas where you're probably off just renting some cracker box and just look at it as temporary housing. This is temporary. I'm waiting this thing out. Certain areas that make sense to wait. And your financial fitness, meaning I don't want to see anybody come in and spend their life savings as a down payment and then house poor running on fumes. Home ownership just isn't worth that. So today, to drive our point home, let's jump over to a part of the country, examine their local real estate. Then we're going to meet back here to wrap this one up. Let's get started. All right, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors. We're heading into Tucson, Arizona. Let's jump over to a local listing and examine what's going on there. Now let's bring up our area crash map, courtesy of our good friends over at Zillow. Everything on our screen going through the kiss of death. Price reductions. Now let's go ahead and take a look around. It looks like a pretty clean property, no glaring problems other than the fact it's sucking air, unoccupied, and not sold. Let's take a look at its property description. Today's property's on the market for $284,000 after an $8,000 price cut. This beautiful home is a perfect place to settle in and relax with a neutral color palette, a fireplace for cozy evenings, and other rooms for flexible living space. This home has it all. Well, we'll be the judge of that. Let's keep looking. Our property has a mid-range value of $277,000 in a declining market. They're on the market for $284,000, the upper end of its value range. Let's keep looking. Oh, it gets better or worse if you're the seller. They came on the market at $292,000, got themselves stuck on the market, and now chasing the market, showing price reductions. Let's see how our property pencils out. If we were to give them today's reduced asking price of $284,000, which we wouldn't, with a standard amount down at today's interest rate, our approximate cost to carry would be $1,800 a month. Now let's check its rent range. Well, this property has an estimated rent range of $1,800 a month, making it a little safer. But for us, we'd want to get it for a little less than it's stuck on the market just to make sure we have a little cushion. Now let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So there you go. Tucson, Arizona. You know, Tucson and Arizona has always been a hot spot for investors. The reason is this, and like I promised when we got back from the property, there's two things that you really should look at in terms of buying in this current climate, if and when you're ready, in any climate, but especially the current climate. Numero uno is standard amount down, today's interest rate. What's my cost to carry the property? Check the property's rent range to see what its estimated rent range is. If those numbers meet, there's safety. There's safety in those markets. It's only in the markets where it's completely upside down. Your cost to carry is way above its rent range. So unfortunately, in a housing bubble, when it's herd mentality, FOMO that's running the show, most people did not look at that. They're upside down in their houses right now. They don't own their houses. Their houses own them because they don't have any choice but to try to weather this storm because they don't have the luxury of converting it into a rental if they start having an issue keeping up with bills. And if they want to get wealthy anyway, eventually that should be the plan for the house. But most people don't think like investors unless they're watching the show. So congratulations. Number two on the list is the price range. If you're shopping in the $1 million district, it's hard to find a property to pencil out. If you're shopping within the national median home price average, $200,000, $300,000, maybe even $400,000, there's a lot of areas that will in fact pencil out. Your cost to carry will be within its rent range. So if you're in an area that's not penciling out, my advice is stay a renter. Now, if you're in an area and you own your house and you're on the fence about selling, there's never been a better time, except to maybe a year ago before interest rate hikes. The clock's ticking for you. You will eventually watch your equity start to drain out of your house. So if that's something you're concerned with, a lot of us own property. Like me, I own property. I hold it. It's income property. It was bought a long time ago. Any fluctuation in its equity isn't going to bother me. It's only the people that were considering selling. They're very, very cost burdened by the property and they're wondering, should I sell now? If that is you, it's a race against the clock. Because you see, we're at the tail end of a crisis, front end of a recession. We're just entering in. This is a warm up. We are just getting started. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy that wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the biggest artificially produced housing bubble ever witnessed in human history will not sustain it. Our rewards in life are in direct proportion to our contribution. You can contribute simply by supporting this, waking people up and protecting people. I promise you will be rewarded if you do that. In the meantime, I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.